Mike's on his way, so I think we'll start. It is September 6, 2022, a little after 9:03 a.m. I'll call the McLeod County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Consideration of agenda items. Is there any additions or corrections?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Hearing none. Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. I got confused there, sorry. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Health and Human Services. Spirit, you're up. Good morning, Barrett.
Good morning, gentlemen. Is this one on? Yep. I have one item for you today. It's to consider approval of the updated McLeod County cremation burial policy to be effective today, September 6, 2022. The purpose of the McLeod County cremation burial policy is to provide guidance to our county eligibility workers who are approving county paid cremation and final expenses. The current policy was approved on January 1st, 2017. After review of the policy and gathering feedback, the following changes have been made. Cremation all-inclusive rate increased from $2,040 to $2,400. Transportation per loaded mile increased from $2 to $3 per mile, and the not-to-exceed miles increased from 150 to 200 miles. All expenses associated with this policy will be paid with funds from the Income Maintenance Fund, and the 2023 budget has been adjusted accordingly to reflect these changes.
Questions from the board? Not, I'd enter a motion to approve the changes.
And second.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel, seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure.
We had some talk in the last couple of weeks about that Minnesota-based purchasing thing that we dealt with. Have you got any comments, or can you just say anything? We seem to have a conflict with our newspaper in town of printing that for some reason of non-factual statements. I mean, is there anything that you can say to clear that up, or do you prefer not to?
All I can really say is that we did have mediation with the Department of Human Services a couple weeks ago, and I did participate in that. We have not heard any results yet.
And you can possibly clarify, the Minnesota rural counties have just joined, being that most of the rural county membership is involved in Prime West, they had joined in on that. So, I mean, it's all factual statements to the best of your ability that you've seen in the email? So
that article that you're referring to is put out by the Minnesota Association of Rural Counties, is that correct? And it's regarding the procurement process with the Department of Human Services. To the best of my knowledge, I would say that it's pretty factual.
Right, and I went through it as well, and I seen nothing in there. It was an informative piece to let the public know and possibly put some pressure on their legislators to get this cleared up.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, it is an opinion piece. And it.
Right, so it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate.
Correct.
And I didn't see anything that wasn't.
Correct.
But for those who think it might not quite be accurate, it's as accurate as I could possibly get out of any business that we've had.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
You too.
Environmental Services, Mark. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, gentlemen. One item for your consideration this morning. It is a application made by Brandon Gatz, Director of Land Castle Summer Extravaganza, for a permit for large assembly in McLeod County from September 8th through September 11th, 2022. This is an event that he has held in the past. It has started to grow. It is an event that is housed on the Winstock property for Holy Trinity Church. And the attendance, as stated, has grown, so it is anticipated that attendance will be between 600 and 800 people, not to exceed 1,000. Overnight camping sites are projected to be 2 to 350. This is a family-friendly event that will take place, as stated, on land owned by Church of Holy Trinity, located in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter, section 15 in Winsted Township. The Winsted Town Board has heard this request in mid-August and has signed off on this. He has gotten a signature, obviously, from the church to hold this event. They would like to utilize the farthest southwest area, south of Ashland Avenue, I believe it is what the roads on the inside of Winstock are named. So it's the farthest one to the south along the wooded area, to not create any disruption for the houses, for the residents to the north. And his live entertainment would be on September 9th and the 10th. The vendor that he does have lined up, Big Boar Barbecue, they are licensed through the state to serve alcohol and food, and so that has been vetted. And he has made a down payment with our Sheriff's Department to utilize the posse for security. So with that being said, if there are questions for me, Brandon is available to answer any questions for the event.
I don't want any, this isn't the first year, this has been going on, or did I miss some? This has been going on for a while, right?
Correct. And the large assembly ordinance that we have in place states that if you are serving more than 500 individuals with alcohol, then you need to have an approval by the board for a large assembly permit, or 1,000 people without alcohol.
I have not heard anything, so that's a positive, so I'm glad for him. I hope it's successful, but that's my opinion.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I have not heard any negative impact with the event being held. I think, what are we in our third year now, Brandon? Is it?
6th year.
Okay.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does. So the only concern I had was, we're asking for a permit today for something that's happening on Thursday. So hopefully next year we can get the request in earlier, so that we all have a little extra time to act on this. With that, Mr. Chair, I will move the request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any other discussion? I think anything with this, again, with no complaints, family friendly. From what I have heard about it over the years, I think it's great. So, good luck. And any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Auditor Treasurer Connie.
Good morning.
Good morning again.
CD 11 redetermination and creation of JD 111 McLeod Wright. So County Ditch 11 is in the process of redetermining the benefits and damages pursuant to Minnesota statute section 103E.351. During the redetermination process, benefited acres were found in Wright County. Therefore, the county ditch must be converted into a joint drainage system. This morning we had a meeting with both county boards, and the new joint drainage system shall be called JD 111 McLeod Wright, pursuant to Minnesota statute section 103E.325. The auditors of McLeod and Wright counties agreed to the representation of the joint board, which was based upon proximity of ditch to the commissioner districts. I will just need this board to ratify those actions of the findings in order of CD 11 and the newly established JD 111 McLeod Wright.
I believe that it was the Drainage Authority that did approve it, and I think the verbiage is all the same, so I look for a motion as the McLeod County Board to approve it as well.
Mr. Chair, move to ratify action.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to ratify. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Employee relations, Hannah.
Good morning. I just have one item this morning. Item A, consider approval of the personnel recommendation to hire one additional full-time correctional officer. This addition is requested by Sheriff Langenfeld based on the jail unit experiencing staffing issues. Due to turnover within the unit, this will be a budget-neutral addition.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Before you leave the podium too, I just ask that people, I get quite a few questions on what our staff does, and I just take notice that we are pretty regularly interviewing, going through changes and staff. So I just like to point that out for people to pay attention to our meetings, that we are doing it on a regular basis, and it's not what we like to do, but you guys are working hard and doing a good job, so thanks.
Thank you.
That's all I have. Oh, county administration, review of calendars. I forgot mine, so I'll have a little time while Daryl and Jim do. Paul does his, so go ahead, Daryl.
Good morning, Chairman. Mine's short. I've been out of the country for 3 weeks, so I just got back. I attended the ditch meeting on the 31st of ditch 5, 13, and 29, and also in the afternoon, ditch 63. Thank you.
Okay, going to mine. 29th at a budget meeting, 31st CD 563. This morning our new ditch system JD 111. I'll get into a little bit more of an in-depth report, a fun one for me annually. The first meeting of September I talked about our 4-H program and how they did at the state fair, and I've got quite an extensive report to give as far as all of our placings. I hope I get through it. I had to write this one out by hand today, so I think I can understand my writing. And then Darcy Cole, when she comes and gives her presentation in probably about a month or so, we'll probably be able to give this in greater detail. But once again, we sent a great group of kids in all the different livestock species areas and their general projects to the Minnesota State Fair. I'll go through the livestock portion first. And one thing, when you go to the state fair, there's a lot of different contests that you're involved in when you go there with livestock. There's, of course, your animal, the shows. And then while you're there, there's also an interview process where each of the exhibitors is brought in and asked a lot of questions about your project, about your industry, about 4-H, and then the ones that do very well are brought back in again for further interviewing, and then your champions are named. And so I've got some placings in that as well. The purple ribbon is by far the best of the best in your class. Blue is a great project. Red might be a little something to improve upon, but I'll go through the list and the different species and a few of the different champions and reserve champions. And remember, these are all McLeod County kids that were able to do this. In the dairy exhibit area, and that's the one that I have probably the most to do with, we had 12 kids and their animals go down. Purple ribbons, we had 4. Blue ribbons, we had 6, and 2 red ribbons. We had 5 of those kids pulled back for finalist interviews. We had 1 champion in the intermediate age group and 1 champion in the senior on those interviews. On the beef exhibit, we had 7 go down. We had 3 finalists. We had reserve champion Black Angus. Swine project area, we had three purple ribbons. We had 5 blues. We had a reserve champion Berkshire Gilt, reserve champion Duroc, the rabbits. We had 4 blues. We had 3 kids pulled back for their finalists and 1 interview champion in that. The sheep project area, we had a reserve champion Dorset Ewe. In the goat, we send a lot of goat exhibitors to the Minnesota State Fair. We had 4 purples, and on top of that, 4 more blues. We had a senior champion showmanship. We had 4 of those kids pulled back in for interview finalists and a reserve champion meat goat. Poultry, 2 purples, 2 blues, 1 interview finalist, and a reserve champion breeding pen of ducks. Let's see, what are we? Demonstrations. If you want a nerve-wracking experience, try standing on a stage and giving a demonstration at the Minnesota State Fair. And our kids did that. We had 2 in the general project area, and they both got blues. We had 1 to give a livestock demonstration where you actually stand with your cow in front of a group. And that one was a purple. I just have to throw it in there. That was my daughter that did that one. So, also, when you are a livestock exhibitor at the Minnesota State Fair, you are daily awarded in your ability to keep your area clean and also network with the consumers or guests of the state fair. And judges go by in the morning and grade everything, and then again in the afternoon and evening. And the McLeod County kids often do very, very well in this, and each county is ranked and scored. Throughout that time, the dairy exhibitors for the 2nd year in a row took 1st place. I don't know exactly how the rest of them did, but they pretty well, through all the different other species areas, were within the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th placing. And really cool this year, the State Fair gives a composite score of all of the species for that county, and gives what would be called the premier herdsmanship. So that would be all of your different livestock exhibitors grouped into one, a composite score, and McLeod County was able to take champion, 1st place, which is quite honestly pretty cool to know that the kids that we send down there are every day working that hard to sweep and clean and talk with the guests of the fair. The general projects, and this ranges from anywhere to posters to things that you make or hang on the wall. This was a little bit more of a harder report for me to pull, but I believe we wound up with 3 purple ribbons and somewhere around that 25 blues and a couple of reds thrown in there. A unique story that I want to share about on our dairy exhibitors. And when you're a 4-H'er, there's a lot of talk about this as a program for everybody. And I know in the swine, on the swine show day, there was talk that a young individual was able to show his project in a wheelchair, another one that was missing a limb, and those stories go on and on. But I also have a story about a McLeod County 4-H'er that was born developmentally disabled, that had an opportunity to take a dairy heifer to the state fair. And the rest of the kids thought that this was great, an opportunity to show that this can be done. And I can say that when this young lady left the show ring, she had 3 things. She had her purple ribbon, she had her Holstein heifer in her hand, and a smile about as big as the world itself. So that's pretty cool. And that is your county kids representing the state, representing us here. So that is our report of all these kids, how they did. My daughter Allison finished up her 13 years of 4-H this year, and now she's graduated out, but she was able to wrap it up with an awful lot of blue and purple ribbons out of the state fair. So thank you for that opportunity. And that's it for my report.
Just linking on to that before we get off of that topic, I mean, you can obviously see that there's a proud dad of his kids, but I do know Commissioner Wright, and he's very proud of all the people that exhibit and does a lot of work for the 4-H in general, and we're lucky and should be proud to have them on the board. Obviously, he covered everything from the state fair. I did not get to the state fair, but just to back up a little bit to our county fair, I mean, we had a fantastic, I did get to the county fair every day. We had a fantastic county fair this year. It was awesome. We got some rain the first night, but it kind of cleaned everything up. But it was just so exciting to see the streets full of bobbing heads and Browno pups and God knows what else to eat, and the barns were full. So I mean that all works together to lead or have McLeod lead. I think in our extension, it's just hats off to us. We do a good job, and I just want to mention that as well. As far as business, we did have a kickoff celebration at the fair on the 18th with some highlights of the past fairs. Going back to, I can't even remember some of the people that have worked on the fair board for many years. On Monday the 22nd, we had an economic development meeting here in the government center. On the 24th, I had an HRA meeting in the government center as well. And we commented already on our ditch 11, McLeod County ditch 11, creating a joint ditch with Wright County, which will be ditch 111. And I guess that brings us up to today. But we're McLeod County. We've got something to be proud of. So thank you. Go ahead, Joe.
All right. Following the last meeting, we had our workshop, as is normal. During this period between meetings, we had an insurance meeting. I was not able to attend, but I appreciate the staff bringing my questions and concerns and even some direction to that meeting as we work through that process. We talked about the McLeod County Fair a little bit. Thank you to those that were able to work the booth. From the county side, I was able to attend the flag raising and the kickoff, where, if I got this right, there was 2 50-year Ford Ag Association or Fair Board members and 1 65-year.
I think so.
So that was exciting to see. For those of you who don't know, the county fair is put on by the Ag Association, and they do a great job, and they should be very proud of their efforts. And they had a very successful 150th fair. I had a Southwest West Central meeting, budget committee meetings, and the ditch meetings, including CD11, JD11, CD5, CD63. We had a joint ditch meeting this morning with Wright County, and I know I'm missing a couple more, but it's been a busy, busy ditch season.
Yeah, it's been a busy ditch season, Commissioner Nagel, and I'll start off with our last board meeting. It was followed by a workshop on the 16th of August, and then on the 17th of August, we had a McLeod Sibley insurance meeting that we did by Zoom, where we're looking at what our medical insurance needs look like for 2023. And then, like the other commissioners mentioned, we had the McLeod County Fair starting on Thursday the 18th, and I do want to congratulate the 4-H family of McLeod County and their fine representation of McLeod, not just at the McLeod Fair, but at the State Fair as well. I did attend 3 days. The county was displaying a booth. Administration had a booth in the commercial building, and we were next to Veteran Services, and across the way was the McLeod County Sheriff's booth. It seemed like a good thing going there, where we could connect with each other, answer questions for people that wanted to visit with us. The following week, on Monday the 22nd, it's really not a county action, but we had a roundabout open house in Lester Prairie City Hall. I did attend, being it's in my district, and the roundabout is scheduled to be built next year at the intersection of County Road 1 and Highway 7. And then that Thursday, the 25th, I started out with a meeting at a HATS facility with our Public Works Director, John, and the reasoning for that meeting is we're still, looking at we're in discussions on turning back a road to Virgin Township, and you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward with that process. Left hats and drove for a UCAP meeting that evening then that was held in Redwood Falls. The takeaway from that meeting was, I think, we're all looking at the budgeting process and how that's going to look as far as, and what the increased costs are going to be to, employ people and have employees on the payroll. The 26th, on Friday, we had a CHS meeting here in Glencoe. And then Tuesday, the 30th, like Commissioner Nagel said, we're in ditch season here, so we had a meeting here at the Government Center where we presented information on County Ditch 11, which, we maybe heard about this morning as well. Following day, on the 31st, we had a meeting here with Ditch 5, 13, and 29. And, of course, this morning we had a JD11 a joint ditch meeting before our commissioners' meeting that started at 9:03. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioners. Did I get elected commissioner? How about that? There has been a lot of ditch stuff going on, and in addition to what you folks are aware of, there are other items that I'm working with Buffalo Creek, and then we also have an issue about a lateral on another ditch system that hasn't even come to your attention yet. So just be aware that, and I didn't realize that there was a ditch season. I thought that was year round, but
Maybe it is, but it really feels like it is.
we have been doing a lot of ditch stuff. And I would note that if we had a county fair each week, maybe we would get a little more rain each week. So, thank you.
Do you have anything else for administration?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
How about the note? Go ahead.
can Commissioner Wright comment on Princess K carving?
Yeah, I can.
You sat in there?
I want to hear about that, too.
Well, that would be our daughter, Allison, that was the one I referred to, that she graduated out of 4-H this year. She made it a goal a number of years ago to be one of those butterheads at the state fair. And she did it as part of the dairy royalty program. So each county has the opportunity to have a promotional board that works from the state dairy promotion, and then they have they're the ones that would organize the ladies in the parades and different opportunities to serve ice cream throughout June Dairy Month in the summer. And when you're kind of in mid-high school, you get to be an ambassador, and then as you kind of transition from late high school into early college, then you have the opportunity to run for the county princess. And then each of those counties send their princesses into statewide competition in May, where 10 are selected to be the butterheads. And Allison was one of those, as well as my niece Kylie Lickfelt, that lives right down the road. And so it was interesting to have both of them. And so we got to have the day before the state fair was kind of a roller coaster for us, because we had to hurry up and get all of the 4-H kids hauled down to the state fair. I bring the tack trailer, so all the hay, straw, the bedding, the forks, and show box, and all that stuff, I bring that in and drop that off in the dairy barn, get them set up, and then jump into a bathroom somewhere quick and change into a suit for coronation that night. So that's what it amounted to. So those 10 young ladies are first we have a presentation at a hotel with a banquet meal, and then we go to the state fairgrounds, the Leinenkugel Lodge, I believe is what they call that, where the big event is held, and Princess K is named. I believe Princess K this year is from Montgomery. So good job to that young lady and all of the rest of them that were finalists, because when they start playing all the videos that they made at home and going through all the information that they had done, you have 10 ladies that really worked hard all year long to promote the industry, so then Princess K is immediately carved. Her head is carved in butter. That's always a big attraction at the state fair. The first 2 days of the state fair are spent with Princess K and her and her carving, and then after that, each one of the rest finalists have their day. And it's a full 7 or 8 hours going around and around in that cooler. And the individual that does the butter carving, that's about 90 to 100 pound block of butter that it starts out with. And this individual is from Litchfield that does the work now. It's an awesome experience. Then the girls take turns. They're there for about 3 or 4 days as kind of walking along with Princess Kay as they go through the parades and all the different meet and greets, and they're in the TV stations and the radio stations and all kinds of different places talking about their experience, and it was really fun to watch her have that opportunity. So just the butter scraps alone that you get to go home with fill 2 5-gallon pails. So we were down there the whole day we spent a lot of days at the state fair this year for the different shows, but we were there the whole day when her carving took place, and you walk out with two 5-gallon pails full of butter, and today the butterhead itself comes home. So in Minnesota, freezers all over the place, there are head carvings of the butter, because a lot of people aren't quite sure what to do with this 90-pound block of butter, and of course you're trying to find a really, really good reason to wreck all that hard work or whatever. And so you'll hear about sweet corn feeds and stuff like that happen, but it still takes a long time to go through 90 pounds of butter. But that was a really fun experience. So thanks for bringing that up.
Good job, thank you.
Yeah, sitting here as a board, I'm just thinking, we could give Paul and his family a hand. I don't think that does it justice, because I can speak again for their family. They don't only promote themselves, they promote the industry, they promote family farming, they produce Minnesota family farming. They don't just do their own. They make sure that anybody interested follows along. So someday we'll figure something out to do for you, Paul. So.
Well, thanks for that. I'm a proponent to say it takes a community to raise a child, and there's a lot of great people out there that help along this way, and we do what we can, but there's a lot of people, and a lot of them are sitting up here that are supporting things like the 4-H program, youth development, and offering that helping hand whenever it need be. So thank you.
Thank you. Sheila, do you want to do the notification or?
Sure. Item A, notification of board workshop following the board meeting Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other business that need to come forward for the good of McLeod County? Open forum. Anybody wish to address the board? Press relations. Hearing none, we will recess till the next county board meeting at 9 a.m. Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North in Glencoe, Minnesota. With that, I'll take a motion to recess.
I make a motion to recess.
Motion made by Commissioner Luthens. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're recessed. Have a good day.